Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Saroj, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. And you sent me an email. Your email was just kind of sad. The title, it's got you have here, got low score in TOEFL. You have a little frown after that, so obviously you're not very happy with your TOEFL score. So let's take a look at your specific situation and see what's going on, and hopefully after this email you'll be happier than you were than when you sent this message. So you say, "Hi Michael, I am from India. I did my bachelor's degree in IT engineering. I came to the U.S. after my marriage. Currently, I am, you have a dependent visa, so you can't study or work. You say, so staying at home without work make me bored and defeat. All right, so I'm planning to do my further study, but my weak point is English. Although I did my undergrad in English medium, you say. I'm not sure what that means. You have maybe English media? You have, my native language is not English. I apologize if I've done any mistakes. You say, I went through the TOEFL 2 times. So the first time you say I did it by myself, I got 60. So you got 12 points in the reading. You got 16 points in the listening. You got 17 points on the speaking and 15 points on the writing. You say, second time, I've done your course for 2 months, but I didn't work that much. I was confident while in the exam it was easy, but when I received my score report, I got 55. So in this time, you got 14 points on the reading, you got 8 points in the listening, 19 points in the speaking, and 14 points in the writing. So you say, I am so depressed and confused right now. I'm working on the TOEFL around 1 year, but I didn't get that much outcome through my score. You say, now I'm thinking about doing some certification course which waived me by TOEFL rather than the master's in my field. Because it's very frustrating, I want to start my education as early as possible. Please give me some good suggestions. I'm waiting for your reply. Okay, we can do this. You know, you say that you're confused, but I don't think you need to be confused here. To me, it's very clear. You have not really been preparing for the TOEFL exam, am I right? I mean, you said the first time you took the test, you really didn't do any study at all, and then you said the second time you used my course, but then you said you didn't work that much. So obviously, if you don't prepare and you don't study, I mean, you shouldn't be surprised if your score's not that high. I mean, how about this? Let me give you another example. What if you got somebody who's preparing to run a marathon, for example, 42 kilometers, right? So the person sets a goal, okay, I want to run 4 hours. They want to run 4 hours in the marathon, but they don't do any practice. They don't do any training, right? And then when they run the marathon, they run it in 5 hours and 30 minutes. I mean, there's no confusion there. Why did they not reach the goal that they set? Why? Well, because they didn't do any practice. It looks like that's what happened in your case. So here's my suggestion for you. What I'm going to tell you here is not easy. If you're not willing to do the work, you're not going to get the reward. It's just that simple. But there's 3 specific things. If you can do these 3 things, I'm telling you, it'll have a dramatic effect on not just your TOEFL, but the most important thing, which is your academic English language proficiency. Let's face it, isn't that what you want here? You want to be able to use English for professional or academic and maybe even personal purposes. So if you want one of those 3 things, you got to do these 3 things. Number 1, you want to sit down, turn your phone off, turn the TV off, and start reading every day for about 45 to 60 minutes. It's just that simple. You can read newspapers, you can read magazines, you can read books. I've interviewed a lot of students, all of who have scored over 100 on the TOEFL. You know what they told me, Saroj? They told me they really didn't study TOEFL that much, but they did spend a lot of time reading. Even several years they spent reading in subways, reading newspapers, magazines, reading all kinds of books in which they had an interest, and on and on and on. So you got to sit down and start reading every day. Remember, you want to do interrupted reading for about 45 to 60 minutes. That's number one. Number two, practice about the same amount of time each day. Practice listening. You can watch TV, or you can go on the internet, you can listen to the radio, doesn't matter. Start practicing listening. This is very important. So if you have TV, English TV, you can focus on news, documentary history, and even science programs. All of those things are going to give your brain a lot of exposure to the language. Even your accent, your pronunciation will get better from doing this. That's number two. But here's the important thing. As you do the reading and the listening practice, Saroj, you want to start getting the information down in note form. Focus on the main and the most important supporting points of those reading and listening passages. Get it down in note form. This is very important. Now, using your notes, you can do two specific things with those notes. This is very important. Number one, I want you to write 3 250-word summaries each week of either a reading or a listening passage. So that's about 750 words each week that you're practicing writing. Now, your notes are not going to be complete at first. Your writing will not be that great. As long as you're going through the motion, you're getting used to writing about reading and listening passages. This is very important. Now, the second thing you can do is to give maybe 3 to 5 oral summaries each week. That means that you orally talk about the reading or the listening passage. In this case, I recommend that you record your voice, maybe using your computer or your phone, and then listen to how you say what you say or what you say about the reading and the listening passage. So if you do just those first two things, think about what you're doing. You're doing a lot of good reading practice, you're doing a lot of listening practice, you're practicing note-taking, and you're also doing writing and speaking. Think about that. You're doing the integrated writing and integrated speaking areas. You're doing some very good academic type language activities, which is going to really, really help you when you pursue your graduate or your undergraduate degree. Now, the third thing is this. If you want to get results from my online TOEFL course, you got to use it. So what I recommend, you already have my 60-day study guide. Start going through the lessons in that study guide. So you got 1 hour a day reading, 1 hour a day listening, maybe 1 to 2 hours each day. You're going through my 7-step TOEFL study guide, the 60-day study guide, and you're starting to improve all the areas important for your academic English: vocabulary, pronunciation, grammar, listening, reading, writing, and speaking. You're improving in all those areas. You got to do it. Think about it. If you do those things, you will get better. You have to get better. So in conclusion to this video, I'll just leave you with one more tip. Now, if you don't have English TV, right, to practice listening, there are 3 specific websites I recommend for you. You might want to write these down. Number 1, National Public Radio. You can go to Google and find out about it, but this is a great website. Culture, news, business, and so on. It has the types of listening activities that are comparable to what you might hear during a TOEFL exam. They're higher level. Now, the second website I recommend is TED Talks. TED Talks also has a lot of good topics, and you can practice your listening there. And the third website I recommend, if you want to get if you want to start getting some comprehension scores on how much, percentage-wise you can understand, go to Randall's Cyber Listening Lab. This is a guy out of a University of Utah, and he put together a really, really good listening website. And even he divides his activities into easy, medium, and difficult. Obviously, for the TOEFL, you should be focusing on the difficult activities at that website, but if you just miserably fail with those, then you can start with the easy and the medium, and then eventually move to the more difficult listening activities. All right. Anyway, Saroj, I'm sorry to hear your bad news and your low score, and I hope that you can see that there's no reason for you to be sad or depressed. You control your future, your destiny. If you work hard, if you study, you will make a difference. You will score higher on the TOEFL IBT exam. Think about that. Nobody else controls your fate but you. If you study, good things are going to happen. If you don't study, you will stay the same as you are now. So you, only you must make the decision what you want to do and how much you want to study. And if you really want to reach this goal, nobody else will do this for you. All right, anyway, thank you for your email, and all the best to your high-scoring TOEFL success.